Hey everyone, it's Andrew. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a video doing an unboxing and review of the Feiyue Lows in the black and rainbow version, which is in this bag right here. I previously have done reviews on several other Feiyue shoes, specifically their mid tops in the white and black variety, as well as their low tops in the vegan leather version. You can check out those videos for more details on these specific shoes, but I'll provide a quick summary at the start of this video and some feedback based on using the shoes for my work shoes for the past week. Then we'll actually unbox the black and rainbow version. As always, if you're interested in potentially purchasing any of these, I'll leave links in the description below. Okay, so before we unbox the Feiyue Lows in the black and rainbow version, I did want to highlight the other versions that I currently have. So on the left hand side here, we have the mid tops in the white version as well as the black version. These are basically identical. The only difference is one is white and one is black, but they have the blue and red classic stripe across it. So far, I've really only worn the white pair just because it's still summertime and it goes better with like t-shirt and shorts and that sort of thing. Meanwhile, I anticipate that when it comes to winter months, I'll probably gravitate more towards the black version when I start wearing jeans again. But overall, I've really enjoyed these shoes. They did break in pretty well and they're a lot more comfortable than I initially anticipated. So those are the mid tops. Both of these pairs in this style you can currently get on their website for only $20, which is super affordable and cheap and really well made for the price. The other pair on the right hand side are the vegan leather low top 1920s. I recently did a video on these because I actually got the all black version for work purposes earlier this week. And so I've worn these shoes over the past week for work specifically. And I'll say that there's two kind of main criticisms to this. What I found on actually the right shoe is there's actually on the inside here a hard plastic cup on the bottom here that was rubbing a lot against my heel and I actually had a blister. So by the end of the week I did have to start wearing a band-aid over that blister, but I think that'll go away with time. So that's the biggest main criticism there. The other criticism is with the vegan leather, it's a little bit of a stiffer material, so it does have to break in. So after 3-4 days, it did break in more and it felt more comfortable. So I think it's going to work overall in the long term. But beyond that, it's a very comfortable shoe as far as the flexibility, compliance, and that it goes for me professionally. I wear scrubs all the time. The all black really fits well for work purposes and not looking over the top as far as having stripes or anything like that. One thing I did do with the vegan leather version to kind of help with the fit, because it was a little bit small as far as the size and it being narrow, was the insoles here. I'll take it out on the other shoe as well, if I can get it. Sorry. Actually, that one's like stuck down. But the insoles here actually had a like padded heel insert here that actually elevated the shoe quite a bit, or the foot quite a bit in the shoe. And so what I found was by removing that padded portion, it gave me a lot more room in the shoe, so it was much more comfortable, and I no longer had it like rubbing up against my heel there. So if you do find that the fit being like full sizes, either 10 or 11, I usually wear a 10.5. You can try to either remove the insoles entirely or get rid of this heel pad here to give you a little bit more space if you find it too tight there. But that was one thing that once I did that for both of the shoes, it felt more comfortable. So that's the kind of feedback I have for these overall shoes. The vegan leather ones are only $17.50, which is super affordable, super cheap. So keep that in mind. It's just a little bit of a stiffer material as compared to the canvas. But for me personally, I operate and I work where blood and stuff can get on the shoe. And I've had no issues cleaning these over the course of the week. The vegan leather is much easier to clean and it's not going to stain because these other ones are made of canvas. So that's all I have for those 4 pairs so far. What we'll do now is we'll unbox and review the black and rainbow version of the the low tops. Okay, so in this bag, we're going to have the Feiyue low top 1920s in the black and rainbow version. All those shoes do come in this bag, which is actually very convenient to have. It's a very well-made bag that I actually use at the gym to carry like my gym clothes and my shoes to and from within my normal gym bag, just to compartmentalize it so it doesn't get gross. But it's worked really well, and you can really easily use this for groceries. So the bag itself almost pays for the price of the shoe, to be honest, because a lot of these bags are actually more expensive lately than the shoes, because the shoes are so cheap. But either way, these are going to be the rainbow, or the black and rainbow low top 1920s. Currently on the website, you can actually purchase these for $17.50. They have this black version with the rainbow across it, as well as a white version. I personally got this just to try them out and give a different color sense, but the overall design is going to be very similar to the vegan leather ones and all the other Feiyues. So I'll take this out. But basically this is what it looks like. So it says Feiyue in black across here. It has this rainbow stripe design with actually 4 stripes as compared to the solid ones that the other ones have. And then across the entirety, all the stitching is this rainbow pattern. And so along the back here, heel here, along the top here, it's all basically a rainbow pattern there. And then similarly, it says Feiyue with the rainbow across the other side. This one is going to be a canvas model, so you can feel that it's a canvas material, very similar to like the Converses, but it's going to be much more flexible. It'll be canvas, and it'll probably be a little bit less durable as compared to the vegan leathers, but it will probably be a little bit more flexible and comfortable by the fact that it doesn't have to break in. The other highlight of this is that all the Feiyues have like a toe box on the front that covers the entirety of the toe, and it's basically seamless with the bottom sole. And then their soles are really cool, where it's got this ridged pattern across the entirety of the bottom. It says Feiyue with an emblem that changes color on each model, and then ridges on the back. And this sole is very, very flexible. So even without breaking it in, it's super, super flexible, super comfortable. As far as a minimalist shoe, it's going to be a lot thinner. So for those of you that wear either barefoot shoes or minimalist shoes, these are a great shoe to wear as compared to like the Converses, which have a lot thicker sole. I've actually never worn Converses because they're so thick, versus these, you really get the tactile feel with the ground, and you do feel very grounded from that aspect of things, so it's really nice from that standpoint. As far as the insole, it's virtually identical as compared to the other one. Interestingly, even though I was able to pull out the insoles very easily on the vegan leather ones, these are actually glued in, so I'm not entirely sure whether that was an issue with wear and like using it throughout the week, or whether it was just a manufacturing defect. But that's one thing to keep in mind. And then the only other thing here is it does say Feiyue, and then it has 1920 in gold there, which is pretty cool and pops out. The other things to highlight with these shoes is there's an interesting thing with the tongue here, where they actually have all the rivets for the laces. The tongue actually slides underneath that, and there's a little lip of extra fabric here that keeps it in place, which is really nice. It conforms to your foot. One thing I do want to say is that it does come stitched or laced up only to the last hole. One thing that I did notice is I'll show you now, if you lace it so that the lace is coming out from the bottom and then tie it, it actually gets a lot more narrower and tighter across the top of your foot. And so what I recommend doing is actually running it over the top like the rest of them are laced, and inwards towards the shoe like this. Sorry, it's hard to do at this angle. Inwards like this on both sides, and that actually provides a lot more comfort there. Sorry, it's backwards, but basically what I mean is go like this on the one side, and then very similarly go down inwards on the other side. And so it's in line with how the rest of them are basically laced, but that provides a lot more comfort versus if you do it the other way, it really tightens across the top of your arch of your foot and makes it uncomfortable. That's one kind of thing that I did notice. But that's it. Here's the other shoe just for comparison. It's virtually identical. But what we'll do now is we'll just set up the camera so that you can actually see these on my feet. We can get a sense of size, comfort, and overall fit and look as well. Okay, so here are the Feiyue lows in the black and rainbow. Again, this is what they look like. What we'll do is we'll throw these on my feet to get a sense of the size. I typically wear a 10.5, but the Feiyue Lows and all Feiyue shoes only come in full sizes, so it's either a 10 or an 11. Initially, I did try the 11, but I found that there was too much excess material, so I decided to go down to the size 10, and I've actually had good success with it. The shoes are a little bit narrow and a little bit tight to start, but once they do break in, they do fit a little bit better, but it does take some time. As far as fit on these, they do fit very, very well. My toe's right at the top here, but it's not too tight. If it was a little bit shorter, I definitely have issues with my toe jamming forwards, but it's just barely like the right size from that standpoint. And then as far as the rest of it, it fits very well and conforms around the ankle very well. There's no excess material. One criticism of the mid tops is it does have a little bit excess material here. Like you can see it ply a little bit or like loosen up here. What I found with the mid tops being high is that material was a little bit too loose there at the ankle, which made it a little bit uncomfortable, slide too much. One thing immediately that I did notice with these shoes as I put them in is there is no hard plastic cup on the back here with the canvas model as compared to the vegan leather ones. If you look here, the vegan leather ones have this like hard material that's very, very hard on the back here. And what I had was on the back heel here, that hard plastic was rubbing here and actually created a blister that really irritated me after wearing it for 2 to 3 days this week. So with the canvas model, that actually isn't a problem, but it is something to be careful for with the vegan leather version. But this is what they look like. I'll stand up and show you. So this is from the top, the side, the back, and then the other side. Overall, I'll say that they are very comfortable. They're very flexible, very mobile. The fit's very nice. It conforms to my feet. The rainbow is not too over the top from that standpoint. If this was something where it was more like bold or something like that on the side, I probably wouldn't have purchased them. But I do like the subtlety there where it's a little bit of color without having to have too much color. But what I'll do is I'll plan on wearing these like on and off mixed in with the other ones, and I'll circle back if I run into any issues. I will say that they are definitely much more flexible, more pliable, and like as compared to the vegan leather ones right out of the box. So I'm hoping that these do break in more comfortably and quicker from that standpoint. But that's all I have for this video. One other thing I did want to mention before we finish this up is I will be doing one more video reviewing the Feiyue Lows in the XO model. That's a new model that you can purchase for I think about $40, and I did purchase those on sale as well. So definitely check out that video as well if you're interested. But otherwise, if you have questions, comments, post them below, and thanks for watching.